fuck. I hate again the lasagna. Sorry, I got to get it out. Please, Albert, don't edit this in. If you do it, you won't.
What do you
It will be
expect him
even
to
worse.
do? how would he edit that out? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the WFI Europe podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to the WFI podcast. You can clearly hear that this episode is none like the others. And you know why? It's just because I, Paulus from Baltic Blades, I'm alone at home. Papa Keith and Mama Albert are away in the Blade Show and having a blast, a honeymoon blast. And they are looking at knives, hot, sharp knives. And I can do whatever I want. They actually promised me to do a show on air in there, but you know them, they will have too much good time, a little bit of drinks, and they will definitely not record anything. First disclaimer, this show is not for children, kids, kinder. Don't please listen to it with kids. If you listen on to your own accord, there will be a lot of swearing and profanity and some bullshit. This might be a short show and this might never air. Maybe you are hearing this as a Patreon or not. I have no idea. Let's see what Albert makes it out of it. And first of all, just because it's a short show, I want to give a huge applause, yay, for our sponsor. We need to get the sponsor out of the way so we can have a cool, unhinged communication with my fucking amazing guest. So this show is sponsored by minihell.eu. So let's go as Keith loves kilns. You know, I love my father, I love my mother, but you know what they love more than me? Our minihell.eu kiln. It's great, it's amazing, I love it, and I am so freaking happy that Baltasar actually sponsors this show, and he's a good friend of mine, and I think he makes the best kilns for the money that is on the market, period. And we are getting him on the next show, so if you're hearing this, please send in your questions for him and I will ask them on the show, and we'll have a nice and interesting and full of information show, not like this one. This one is just for laughs. And now let me introduce our guest of the show, the one and only, the Graf, the maker of the best kitchen knives in the world, my good buddy, the person who hates awkward silences so much, Benjamin, come on. How are you, my man?
I would have expected you to say Martin Huber or something like that now. I'm a bit disappointed that there was no joke in that.
Everything was live and unscripted, so
no, it was great.
I had to think fast.
And it was completely believable that your parents would like those kilns more than you, so...
Yeah. I don't know. It's a very good kiln. It's actually a very good kiln. Not that I'm like the best son ever, but the kiln, at least it makes the food warm. It delivers, and and you can sell it. You can sell it, not like your son apparently.
By the way, let's get into technical stuff right away. Did you ever cook any food in your heat treatment kilns? Because I've seen knife makers make steak or pizza or shit like that. Have you ever tried that?
Never, actually, just because my workshop is located where my parents actually live, in an old farm building. So they have all of the, niceties that I can use. But I really wouldn't want to do that, just because if there is any splatter of grease anywhere, you gotta smell it every time,
Yeah, that's true. Although, grease, next time you're heat treating stainless and that grease is gone, turned into carbon.
That grease most probably will burn off, but still you don't want any burning in your kiln. So, I've seen a lot of people like use their forges even. Forge is more, I don't even know if forge is even more clean way. It's not a more clean way than a electric kiln.
Especially those forges that have the ceramic wool liner in them, which isn't, or oftentimes isn't coated. I heavily advise coating that shit up with some fire cement because the fibers are like asbestos. It's not good.
I mean, you are blasting high pressure air and gas into it, and you are most definitely blowing out fibers into the air.
That's why you should cover them.
Then you have spicy pizza.
Yeah, spicy pizza and spicy lung cancer.
Pizza, yeah.
But
like in the past, people had asbestos problems. Now, knife makers have ceramic wool problems in the air. So for this show, I have actually prepared, like me and you, we both prepared some questions, and I prepared a game that we might play later. We'll see how the show goes. But to keep the nonsense a little bit später in the show, we might talk some shop,
Let's do it.
And I saw you finished up your the most recent batch where it showcases what you did. And I was looking at it and I was thinking, like, you do so many multiple different grinds, that type of grinds, hook grinds, S grinds, and others. Do customers come and want something really outrageous, or do you just say, this is what I offer?
So both is true. So they come, they want something really outrageous, and I just, most of the time, if I'm not into it, I will tell them that I don't really do it. It's in rare occasions, it's like inspiring to me, and maybe an idea I either played in my mind, with before, and then it just pushes me over the line and I do it. But usually I say no, and not because I'm an asshole. I mean, I'm that too, but mainly because it's just inefficient to do something you've never done, and then especially in a custom setting, right? Even if the idea is good and I do it, I would do it on my own first, and then maybe sell the knife if it works out, and maybe later on offer it as an thing you can choose for your custom, right? If that makes sense.
Then, yeah, it sounds super logical, as you do, Benjamin. But so you don't sell the first try, you just play with the idea and look where it leads and how you can, develop it, and to make it your own and make it perform as you wish.
Yeah.
And I just wonder, when you see, you are working on your big batches of the production knives and then on the batches of custom knives and purveyor knives, when do you find the time to play and to work with these ideas, Do you make some, before you did the hook grind, right? Maybe you made some spear blades and you just played around with it, with the ideas how to make it, or to make it to perfection?
So, I mean, many things develop. So the hook grind, for example, I mean, first of all, it was a Grant Kippington blades from Australia, in how do you say, insinuated or invented, however you want to say it. And
doing maybe.
And I then thought, because I had access to some of his knives and tried them, and I thought it would be beneficial if there is some food release going on the holding hand as well. So that's where I initially combined the hook grind like he did it with hook like ridge or edge or something like that, and then a convex right after it. And then on the other side there was an S grind. And that worked great, but it was hand specific, so you could only use it for the hand it was made for, so right hand, left hand. And then I made it symmetrical. I mean, I had the idea before, and that really hasn't. The grind I do now doesn't have much to do with the original hook grind anymore, because it's an S grind where I just grind another ridge into it. It's more similar to Dan Biddinger's B grind, I would say, almost, than to the hook grind. It's it's a combination of the two, you could say. I don't know, but yeah, I oftentimes I think about things like that for a long time, and then most of the times when I do them, they work out.
The ego
Yeah,
on
yeah,
this man.
it's I'm is it arrogant if you're always right?
I don't know. That sounded
Yeah.
really arrogant.
Uh,
But I
no,
guess
no. But
no.
honestly, I've said that before. When I started knife making, it was super interesting because I was in the blacksmith shop, right? And I had months or several weeks to months in between each knife. But the time you can think about your work and issues and things to iterate on and advance on helps a lot, because if I wouldn't have had so much time in between, I would have just started the next project and maybe I would have learned stuff. But the progression, the amount of progression you can gain by just waiting and thinking about stuff compared to the amount of pieces you're making is way higher than just making and iterating all the time, because then you would have built 100 knives, but I've only ever built 6 knives in the time span of a year, let's say. But the end result is the same. I think I've learned the same things almost. So thinking about shit is what I'm saying is important sometimes. I take my time on that.
I love it. I totally agree with it. Just because in the past I used to do when I was part-time, I did like the hardest part for me is to make a beautiful design, and I'm not designer by nature, but I just found that and my fiance hated this that I just drew some designs, and I hung them up before my computer screen, and I just looked at those and thought about the design, and you find some lines and something that you don't really like, and then you improve it, and instead of just trying and drawing and drawing and drawing and drawing, you might come up with a pile of shit, and it would be hard to find those jewels. But now when you're just looking, you kind of visualize it and
totally
iterate on that. So that kind of answers actually the nature of the question is, how do you find the time to do the R&D? But apparently, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you just do tiny bit of it and just reminisce on that, think about it, figure it out. And I would love to delve deeper. How do you think about problems, right? When you try a new grind or a new profile, a new geometry, but like with a profile, it might be easier, but with something more complex or that requires a little bit more of not so straightforward thinking or problem solving, right? How do you approach the problems, How do you, like, what is the pathway for you to solve this riddle or equation?
I think the best thing is to prevent problems. So what I mean by that is, usually I would try to come up with all the potential problems and do the best things I can, or methods, or production methods, whatever, to prevent those problems from occurring in the first place. And you can. I think you can see that in a lot of processes of mine, like the mar tempering in hot oil and blade quenching. Even though I'm using carbon steel, that's not super usual, but helps a lot with warping during hardening. The water cooled grinding helps you not only with efficiency, but also that you don't overheat blades. All that really is to prevent problems from occurring, right? So
you're the person who you are the person who fucks with your condoms.
No.
Just to be
I
safe.
used to.
No. I used to, but it's very interesting to hear. Sorry that I interrupted, but it's the approach itself, that you are already solving. You're thinking about all the ways how it could go wrong, right? Solving the edge cases. And like in my case, I would try and go from the perspective, like if something is not doing what I would want it to do, you know, like maybe the food release is not as good as I want, or maybe the edge retention on my outdoors knives, or maybe the edge is rolling or whatever. I have to clearly define what I want for it to do, right? So the requirements, and then I go backwards on how it needs to be designed to
Fulfill them.
fully
Yeah.
meet those requirements. Yeah, to make it work, right? So it's not like I'm trying to prevent issues or problems, but I'm trying to make the this is also very egotistical, I guess, to make the best at that thing, you know, to maximize the property
Yeah,
that
that
I
makes
want.
sense.
Actually.
But I wonder, I mean,
Right.
if the edge rolls, that's almost almost a question of experience as well, right? Because that's a mistake you will only make one time, because the next time you already figured that out, and you know, have a certain palette of steels you can choose from, right? And then but I get it. Yeah, I think sometimes, you know, I forget a lot of stuff. I'm sure I've had problems, and then I had a certain way of solving them, but forgot about those.
It's, there is a saying from an old man who says to a young man, "I have forgotten more than you
Yeah.
have learned in your lifetime." So, yeah, that is true. You oftentimes reinvent shit, which is super inefficient. So,
Hey,
yeah,
about
yeah.
the
Well,
CNC,
look.
because last episode I've heard. I mean, I didn't listen to the Kali episode yet, but the one before, and I wondered, have you ever done the math on how long it would take you to, you know, get so much money in for the machine to, you know, amortify, or how do you say that, you know, to have it, to have it paid
Mortgage.
off with the with sales and stuff, because I wondered why you just don't
No.
you know, buy it maybe on credit or
You well, look, I'm just 1 year and a half full time, and the times, at least where I am, are very uncertain. So I want to tread lightly, and I want to focus more. Right? It's like I have these big ideas what Baltic Blades could be, what I would like it to be, what I love to do, and it's a combination of all of these things. And these ideas are like sunbeams going through a magnifying glass, going through time, you know, and you need a lot of time to pass. And I want to focus them at the end, you know, to make this fucking burning light of beam, to make it strong. Baltic Blades are strong, you know. So I don't want to build on something that I don't know, and I don't know a lot of stuff, you know, and I don't want to invest too much money too early, and I better be more agile, budget friendly, and just wait it out. And it's like with my designs, they are, you know, like we just talked, you need time to refine, to get better ideas. And this year is really focusing of the Baltic Blades brand and the business. And I looked at my schedule, and my fiance asked me when I will have some free time off work, and I said next April, because I have like one big show that I'm attending to. I have one secret job that I am doing. I cannot.
What?
Sorry, listeners. I cannot speak about it. Yeah. I cannot speak it. Only off air. Sorry, I cannot. But it is knife related. And
that's very mean.
It's for a very select. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, but it is very big for me as a business, and normal people, normal customers won't ever get to buy what I am making, and you know, it's for a very closed thing.
Okay.
But it's I'm so grateful for it to be happening. It's a dream come true, and I will tell you off air. But I maybe will share something on Instagram from time to time in the stories without actually
Yeah.
mentioning that it is that,
So
And
people should
it
better
will be
follow
just
you.
glimpses of that.
I mean,
So I have this.
yeah.
Yeah, better. Geezers, follow Baltic Blades on Instagram and Facebook.
But I mean, I will put
And
it on my stories the second you tell me.
self-promotion.
So
Jesus Christ.
is that all right?
We'll see. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I better don't speak more of it, but it is really tense. It's a very hard deadline, and it is until the end of
Fuck.
July, and then it's super tight. And after that is about setting up my company, becoming a full VAT payer, and I'm doing air quotes individual activity where I am just an individual doing an economic activity, but actually setting up a company and preparing for the show for the next year, which I will announce when I have finalized everything with that. But that will be huge for B2B business, which is I would hope the bread and butter of my
B2B? In what
business.
way? What would be? Yeah. What would be the companies
business
who
to business.
buy auto knives from you? Like retailers, you mean? Or
Yeah, most probably retailers or maybe
Like
institutions. We will see.
the military?
Maybe we'll see. Yeah. Big
Hey,
stuff.
but back to the CNC for a second, because the thing why I mainly asked, I think Albert triggered that, is because he said if you can CNC mill the primary bevel of the blades, and I think once you will be able to do that with a proper CNC machine or machining center, that would be so into your lane. I mean, that would be exactly what. I mean, you said it yourself. You want to do it.
This is my dream, baby. This is the dream. This is the end goal. Never ever grind any bevels ever again, and to have everything really consistent and really beautiful. But as I said before, look, listen, listen. Like I would need to change the location. That would increase my overhead spending dramatically, because currently it's super low. Thank you, parents. I love you both. and then I would have to do the machine payment right on top of that. So basically, to go into that place, I need to speed up the business to a place where I cannot physically make any more knives, and I'm pretty efficient. I'm like 40% there, right? So I have 60% more. So that would easily accommodate those payments and give me some nice revenue. And yeah, it's, as you heard, the plan is to ramp up the revenue and to develop models. This year I have planned 2 models at least, and 1 non-knife model, but that will have
not
an
a
edge.
knife, but with an edge.
So don't guess it. But it will perfectly make sense. So, but that comes in the autumn, and for the autumn is the preparation with the economic shit and the restoration of the economic shit. I mean, setting up the company, being VAT payer, finding a bookkeeper, right? I don't want to do that by myself. I better
100%.
find a person who can do some tax optimization. He or she could tell me, look, you are in this bracket of a business, and you can apply for these things in this district, and etc.
Not only that, I mean,
that would be
if you have someone else do that, the time they are spending is shorter, even though they get paid a little more than you would on the hour. But they're so much more efficient that you can build probably so many knives to pay for that time easily and make a profit in the meantime. So outsource that.
And looking at the way that I'm doing everything, sometimes I think and it's so early in the like the lane of the business, in the timeline of the business, but I feel like there are so many processes that I could easily take myself out and replace with any other person, and he or she could do it as good as I could do it. and that really makes me gives me the fizz, gives me the fizz that I can
that's
scale this
interesting.
shit.
I mean, you have that
I
thought,
can-
and you want to have a bigger company anyways with employees, right? At some point, yeah. I thought about that too,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking
Yeah.
if I ever can't do it anymore, then it's just gone, and I'm kind of okay with that. I wouldn't actually want anyone else to do my job.
I look, it's not all about the money. I love the money. The money is great. There is no money in knives, kids. If your father is thinking about going full time, it will be the worst decision, financial decision, but it might be the best psychological decision ever, or maybe the worst. So it's
Depends
25,
depends
50,
on where you're
75.
coming from. You're an IT guy,
Odds
and you
against.
went to college for it, right? You have a degree.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. So for me, knife making was actually, a race. Yeah, raise like
A raise.
financially, a benefit. Yeah, raise.
Raise. Right. 2 Europeans
raise.
talking English. Race.
Rice.
Right. Raise. So, rice.
What?
Welcome to the rice fields, motherfucker. So, just lost. Yeah. So it's not all about the money, but I love manufacturing. I just love creating shit, and I don't really. I get the same satisfaction, looking now. Like ACNC makes my handle skills up to a point, right? I still get the same satisfaction, and I would get the same satisfaction as another person would do, but just in a process that I enabled him to make, or
Yeah, that
maybe
makes
a
sense.
process that he altered.
So
to
you
make it
treat
even
other
better.
people
I
as
would
machines.
just makes me horny, man.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, basically. I mean, like ChatGPT. I whip it, make it shorter, make it more concise,
How do you call it? Do you call it bitch or?
easier to read, fewer words. No. I always say thank you. I always say thank you. When the day comes,
Yeah.
when the day comes, and they come, we are like, you said thank you. You will be a slave. You did not say thank you. You'll be a
I'll
sex
never
slave.
say thank you.
So all right.
Oh.
But you'll be on the receiving end, I guess, not on the giving end. And actually, we have a question about that.
Let's get into the questions.
You would like, maybe we can, as I mentioned it in the pre-show, which the listeners did not hear. I said to our listeners that I will ask every question that they ask, and it's not on me if the questions are stupid. It's on them, because none of them are anonymous. So we have two categories. Actually 3. One is normal questions. We have like 3 normal questions. The other smaller category is love affair, and the third one is the worst. Just scum of the earth, terrible questions. So talking about the sex slaves, it goes perfectly into the love affair questions. And we received a few questions when we announced in the stories that I will be doing a 2-man show with Benjamin Camo. DB Blades kindly asked, when are they announcing their marriage? So DB Blades, maybe you're a little bit jealous, but I am engaged, and Benjamin is
I'm not married with children.
So yeah, it's with a comma, right? You're not like I won't even say
I'm
that
married
part
and
on
I
this
have
show.
children.
But like,
So yeah.
yeah. It's a comma. It's a comma. Like you're married and with children. You have children, right? Yeah. Then
Hey, wait a second. DB Blades wrote me a message too, so I have to. Yeah, I have to come in there. He said,
All
"Say
right.
hello to my favorite soon-to-be Russian,"
Oh, please do.
and I was thinking, who is he actually talking about? Because Austria. I mean, my left ball is stronger than our military, so. um, so he could mean either of us. I'm thinking, but I think it was addressed to you.
I mean, yeah, yeah. You can see he's a little bit out of the politics because he's a Swiss that emigrated to Australia. But when I was in Knife Show, Austria, it was the same as Dien Победы, Victory Day for Russians to celebrate. And I saw a lot of no-go monuments in Lithuania that would be no-go in Lithuania that were in Austria, just because looked a little bit on the history.
We have many Russian monuments, Russian soldier monuments and shit like that. Yeah.
And I was outraged. I was sending videos to my friends. I was like, look at this shit. So it's basically, it really applies to both of us. But what I'm more interested is, how do you measure the strength of your testicle?
I lift weights with it. I mean, how do you do that?
I mean, if I would measure my strength of my testicle, I would guess I would try to bounce it off the anvil.
No, I want to keep my anvil. I don't want to destroy my anvil, dude.
No, that's very good. Oh shit. Okay, now going a little bit past that, the wonderful co-host of the show had two remarks about this, and we will most probably close this love affair question. Albert, like the smart, intelligent one. And if you edit this out, Albert, I will never fucking forget it. He's asking also, when are you two guys getting married? It's about time, I think. And the second question that he wrote in, who is in front? Is it you or Kamon? Or are you taking turns? So I guess in front he means
I think he's
on top.
No, on what,
not like
what?
in front.
In front would be doggy style. I mean,
Yeah, right. No, but basically, who is the submissive one? Who is the active one, right? So Albert, I sense a little bit of jealousy too. You know, you're like.
I think the real answer is that he wants to be in the middle.
Oh yeah, he would love that between all of the sweat and tears. I was like, two hot bodies rubbing. So, do you have?
I have to come in there as well because Albert wrote me a message as well, and in my question, you know, how do you say it? How I put the question, I wrote, DM works too if your message is too long, right? And he then wrote, wait a second, it's not my message what's too long. I don't know exactly what he's referring to. Is it the beard? I think he has long hair. What, do you know? Yeah.
Hairs.
Yeah.
Long hair, I guess. Right? Like he
Yeah,
showed
I mean,
me
he's
on the
old.
show the pubic hair is insanely long. Like you cannot.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the pubes go to the knees. It's insane. Like you cannot see the thing. You know,
The thing.
I even doubted that there is such a thing, right? Like it's crazy. It's crazy. I have no idea like what's in there, but I don't have the curiosity also to think about it.
We should ask him
right
next time
So it's just it's
what he was referring to.
right. No answer. Like this whole segment is getting deleted. I can already hear him clicking on the mouse and deleting this in Audacity. It's like they said what? They said what about my pubes? And to add the last cherry on top, and it was a repeating question, not and I have to do it in appropriate tone.
Okay.
we got it like maybe 3 times, and I just wrote the first person who wrote it in, and it was WFI profile. So I am 100% sure it's
they have
Keith
both X's?
and not Albert. So
Okay,
Keith,
because I thought I'm always writing with Keith. I didn't even know that Albert was an option.
I love it so much because I have the access too, and some guys are complaining about me there. And I'm like, ooh, oh no, he's not such a bad guy. You should change your opinion. Please increase your
Some
Patreon
Russians
tier, and
complaining,
maybe
some
we will
Russian
remove
bots.
him.
Oh.
So, look, I have to do the accent, but shit, it's so fun. A lot of people asked, and WFI Euro podcast asks, Benjamin, come on. Why are you gay? So it's just they are very concerned.
Yeah.
I guess maybe they are looking for their own, people just feeling out. Albert, DB Blades. So some hot guys are really lonely. So don't be shy. I wouldn't say don't be shy because you are clearly not shy and writing in such atrocities.
They are
right?
protected by a screen. So
But be more shy. Thank God.
Oh.
Thank God. Like, it does not prevent them sending us pictures.
Oh no.
And yeah. DB Blades got roasted about him sending pictures. on the Knife Show Austria pre-show. I don't want to say too much, but look, he sent me. Sometimes he sends me the picture of his testicles, and he's like, "Look, bro, these two are for you." Yeah, my bro. And I'm like, deeply concerned, because the hair are a little bit patchy, right? Not consistent hairiness, and some of them are green, and I don't know. Maybe it's because he's maybe a little bit ginger, and this is what is going down there.
Yeah.
Some oxidation.
Yeah, that must be it.
Like copper-like oxidation. Maybe. Yeah. I'm not like offended, but I'm concerned for your health, Dominic. So please, go get some help.
Yeah.
So, Benjamin, do you have any more weird shit with love affairs, or we can go maybe do one or two, proper questions?
I have a middle of the line question. Then I have a real horrible one. But other than that, I have real questions.
So maybe we do one each of the real ones.
Yeah.
Right? Because I have only 3 like real ones. So,
Okay.
ALB Knives asked us, what's your favorite smell in the workshop? And this is the normal question. But it kind of got me thinking, right?
Yeah.
We have a lot of smells, right? And I'm just a little bit prepared, so I might go first.
Yeah.
And give you some time, to think about it. But for me, and this is a smell that a lot of people hate, and it is the smell of grinding my carta.
Okay. That's almost as weird as green hair on your ballsack, but please go on.
Don't put me in the same category as Dominic. Please don't. But it was, and I'm romanticizing this, experience when I started doing knife making and delved into it a little bit deeper. I went into doing batch production. And I did my very first outdoors knife, which was called Sere. It's a big, whatever. You can, SERE, you can Google this acronym and find what it's spelled out, but it's basically a tactical knife.
Okay.
Very tactical, very cool, very good. And it was like all due survival knife. You try to make it as good as you can do and put as much features as you can make when you are starting out. you know, just overestimating, and I did like 10 of them. I said it was a very limited run, and the design was helped to be made with my friend who is serving in the military,
Okay.
a squad leader, something like that. And I took his criticism to develop the model, and I took vacation, like 2 weeks vacation from my normal job, and I just tried to do the batch of the knives right in my small workshop.
Yeah.
And I remember the 3 days of grinding with small wheel attachment, all of the handle contours, and all of them were the same, like black canvas micarta. And every time now I grind micarta, it brings me back to that time, which was it's just a fun time, right? And it's a very specific smell.
Yeah.
And I don't smell it when I am CNC machining the handle skills, only when I grind it. So it's very rarely, actually.
Yeah, but it triggers a memory. That's interesting because, I mean, smells, smells are known to do that, but I have a similar answer to the question. So I would say generally the shop smell is what I enjoy. And I think what you mostly smell in most machine shops is the lubricant, the emulsion lubricant. That no, come on, motherfucker, you know what I mean. The watery solution for drill presses and my grinder in that. But that's when you come in. That's pretty much the smell you usually smell. Other than if I smoked a cigar the day before, then you will smell that. But that's what I like probably most in regards to smells, because it reminds me of when I was at my father's work in the shop, because the machines always were amazing, and the welders and how everything was set up, the tools. So I don't know. That's just I had a fascination for knives, for shops, and yeah, that's what it reminds me of. So I would say
that is a really distinct smell of the watery oil.
Yeah,
it's a little bit softer than WD-40 smell.
Oh, it's way softer. WD-40 can suck my ass. That's horrible.
It's concentrate. You can use it as perfume. Yeah.
No, but the emulsion, it has I couldn't even describe it. I don't even know if it's an artificial smell or if it's, if every product smells kind of the same, right? Mm-hmm. It's very similar, so I don't think it's artificial. It's the inherent smell of the thing, I think.
Yeah, I guess it smells very similar to motor oil, maybe.
Yeah.
But just a little bit muted. And I just brought back me the memory of when I did the batch of knives, right?
Yeah.
I drilled a lot of really big holes in the tanks, and I did some grinding on those, with the small wheel to lighten those, make it lighter, basically. And while I was drilling the hole, the whole day, because you need to do some like smaller holes, and then you increase the size of the bit to make them, don't go to the edge. I used the oil lubricant, right? And I remember the big drills, they got hot and the oil was steaming off, right? The fumes. And I was smelling the fumes all day, and my head ached so bad in the evening. And I'm like, yeah, it wasn't the smartest decision, to do it everything in one go and use the oil. And actually using the oil maybe was not really smart idea at all, right? Because if you think deeply about what is it like when you are drilling, it's basically two blades cutting, right? Yeah. And what does the oil do? Instead of cooling, it just lubricates it to make it a little bit maybe harder to cut it. But if you are not drilling like deep holes, right, there is no need for good chip evacuation, right? The oil helps with that. Yeah. And if you are drilling with a big drill bit, you shouldn't use oil.
I never use oil when I'm drilling, but I'm buying relatively expensive drill bits. So not CNC expensive, but expensive for a normal drill press, not standard high speed steel, but the highest grade, or
Like carbide or
no,
like cobalt?
carbide, not carbide, because I don't actually think for soft materials that is good. I tried it, and they are very brittle. But high speed steel with the cobalt alloys and what have you. But I just wanted to say I have a small trick for my end caps, and I think I never told anyone, and I wonder what you as a CNC guy would say about that. Because as lubrication, I use graphite sticks. So I drill my small holes for the end caps into copper and brass and stainless. And I've tried oil in the past, and that works, but it's very annoying. Everything is smeary, and then you have those steams, and you can't see anything and all that. And also the oil doesn't help with the evacuation of the material, the splinters. And with the graphite sticks, it lubricates it. It's not dirty in a sense. It's dust. You can blow it away, and it helps you get those chips out of the drill.
Oh, yeah. If it works,
It works. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, that's a hot tip. Nobody expected,
see?
right? I mean,
We're
delivering value. Jesus Christ, we don't need those two. Mom and pops can go and stay in USA.
we are grown-ups now.
Yeah, this is a proper takeover now. And the graphite sticks, right? Are they like greasy graphite, or is it like hard
it's
graphite?
It's graphite sticks for painting. But those thick ones, they are thicker than a pencil. And I just bought them on Amazon. And just hold them to the tip of the drill and maybe to the sides. The splinter will fall out, and then at the same time the drill is, lubricated, if you will. And it really works great because especially titanium, grade 2 titanium, that's also such horribly sticky stuff. It will tear off a 2 millimeter drill bit like nothing. And you won't see it coming either. If you drill by hand. I mean, I'm sure with CNC, I've talked to friends of mine who are CNC guys, and they said it's super important to have the spindle and RPM be consistent, and then nothing will happen. But of course, by hand, I can't control the downward force as good. So I have to always offset, drill a bit, set off, get the splinters out, lubricate, and do the same operation again. And with the graphite, I have the best success rate so far. It was always a problem. I was always breaking bits. But yeah, graphite, hot tip.
And way better than oil.
It is.
I hate oil everything.
Although I will
everywhere.
say I don't use it for the bigger drill bits. So as soon as I start with my 4.3 and upwards, I don't need any lubrication, and the chip evacuation, that works as well. It's only for the small drill bits. So I don't know if it would do anything with, as you said, with the tanks, the big holes. I don't know if graphite would help you anything there. Probably not.
Like it's the ratio between the drill bit diameter and the material thickness itself, just because the spinny thing, the flutes, go into more... they do more spin arounds, and the chips they are smaller, but they have to travel maybe a little bit longer distance, and the speed when the small drill bits cut efficiently is way higher than the bigger drills. So you have more friction, and then when you have more friction, kids, lubrication, and I hope no kids are listening now, lubrication is key.
Let's get to the next question from also Ben Out Knives.
Right.
He asked, what's your biggest hot take? And I thought about it. I mean, if you have one off the top of your mind, then shoot it. Otherwise, I will answer it.
I do.
Then you start.
But what I wanted to say over it.
Yep.
Yeah, please go.
My biggest hot take is probably that I don't understand why knife makers these days still use the bucket cooling grinding method. I think it
dip it in the bucket, right?
I think I hate it. I mean, I hate the thought of it. It's
I
so
do.
unprofessional. I would hate it from a user's
Hey,
perspective, which obviously I would hate it because that's why I have another machine. But I think it's like forging with a wooden hammer. I mean, if you why not make it proper? Why do it like that?
I mean, because it rust everywhere, water everywhere, and when you are grinding in the winter,
no.
look.
I don't have any
First
of
of
those
all,
problems.
wait. Give me a second. Like, yeah, because you have a nice grinder. But if you are using other type of grinder, I feel like in my case, when I'm doing outdoor knives, and the stock thickness is way bigger, thicker, and the grinding area is way smaller than a full height chef knife.
Yeah, the
With
ratio, yeah.
a
Thickness to surface area.
so yeah, so the thermal capacity is way bigger, and I dip only like every second or third go through the belt, and I still can keep my fingers on it. It's just so easy because I have like very efficient setup with 3 buckets. The middle one is for the sparks. 2 outside are for like super easy dipping. You just plop and then go again.
I'll put
plop,
it in
and go
another
again.
way. What I think of about the bucket cooling grinding method is like not investing in proper tools. Like if you're hand forging all the time and it sucks and your shoulder hurts and you would want to be more efficient, but you don't buy a power hammer. I think that's as I don't have a better way of putting it, but as stupid as not building a proper grinder where you don't have to do that bucket dipping. But it's a hot take. I mean, after all, he asked for a hot take, and that's probably my biggest hot take.
That
Um,
that sounds like a
Ooh.
cool take, actually, cooling take. But, it's
I mean, you said rust and water everywhere. Of course, with your grinder you have now, it would be difficult probably to build an encasing. But then buy a Tobin machine grinder. He builds those, or build your own, like I did. I mean, it's possible. I think that's just a bad excuse if that's the only excuse, because rust and water, it's just a question of investment, and the investment you can calculate how much the benefit of it would be for you, and then you can see if it would work out for you. But I'm pretty sure that
No.
the bucket dipping method is not more efficient, and that it would pay off
Now.
very quickly.
I will be the devil's advocate, the devil's advocate, right? I am lazy, right? And I hate doing something that is very repetitive, and that is like a small issue repeated 1,000 times is
Yeah,
not
exactly.
a small issue, right? And I don't have an issue with this, right? And I can see that if I want to solve this small non-issue for me, I would have to solve a plethora of other issues with the water delivery, new grinder setup, and whatever. It just, for me, I don't see any efficiency gains that I would rather gain doing full
Yeah, well-
CNC ground bevels, where they are fully, this is not just a
No,
problem
in
that I
your
need to
case,
solve.
it would definitely be
It's
CNC.
not.
So to solve that issue, in your case, you wouldn't go water cooled grinder, but you would go straight to CNC ground bevels or CNC machined. But do you think you can assess the benefits you potentially could have from a water cooled grinder? I mean, you never tried it, right? So could you?
I tried it. I had the setup in the past, and I just did not really.
How did it cool? Mist cooler or proper? Yeah, mist sucks
Mist.
too.
Mist. Mist sucks. I thought about doing just a like full water hose, like the
Yeah.
pond pump, just without. But still, I have no issue. Like I have no issue with burning edges.
No, of course. Outdoor knives, CDC knives, and folder blades. Those all have a very a smaller surface area to thickness ratio, right? So they don't run into issues as as often, but kitchen knives, straight razors, things like that.
I fully agree. Right. In this specific case that you are talking about, like thin geometry, high bevel, even if you are like, if you want to do like a high convex grind, it's still, you still need to have like water cooling on that. It's so
Yeah.
easy to burn it up. But look, it's a semi hot take, right? In the same direction, about just water cooling. What if, first question, have you, while doing full water cooling, right, on your grinder,
No.
have you ever turned
No.
an edge brown? So my hot take is that steel
No.
in water doesn't change color.
That's
when
wrong
it's
too.
overheated.
I know
You
I don't know
that.
it from
You
the
don't know
grinder
because you
I
haven't
don't know
ever done
it from the grinder. It never happened on my machine, but I know that the steel will change color depending. I mean, if no oxygen can get to the steel, then it won't change color. But the stream isn't. Yeah, but the stream isn't
That's my
like
idea.
it's a water stream, but there's a lot of air in it. It's like the water stream that is from tap water, right? There is air in it. It will oxidize for sure, 100%.
But you haven't seen it.
No, motherfucker. So for one, I can answer that question. You think you're getting me, but you don't. It's horrible.
I'm getting you.
So if there would be any issues with that, or would have been, I would see when I edge the blade, because as soon as it's like spot tempered or high tempered on certain spots, and you dip it in the edge and black out the blade, you would see like a hamon or something like that. Yeah, that's the one thing. But the other thing, and that's way more important, I'm with my thumbs on the edge, on the primary bevel. I can feel it. There is it gets warm by most, but most of the time, and that's what I was getting at when you said with the cold water. Most of the time, in the winter time at least, in the summer probably too, the water is warmer than the steel itself. I'm heating up the water because cold water is an issue, and it's not fun to grind with your fingers in cold water. But that's true for the bucket as well, to be honest. And I've seen knife makers complain or crush their eyes in their bucket, and I'm always thinking, buy one of those small, water heaters. You know, I have one. You put it in, you heat up the water for like 5 minutes, and then you're good for 1 hour.
And the knife maker is like, but cold water is better for knife. It's better for cold water. You don't want warm water to heat up the knife, right?
Do you know, in one of my metallurgy books, and Hangler didn't even know that, but there was something referred to boiling water tempering. And according to this book, it was a book from, I don't know the first name, but Stüdemann, from the 70s or something, metallurgist. And he wrote that some tools are tempered in boiling water because it's very controllable. It's 100 degrees in our, sea height, and it's the lowest temperature where steel really has a tempering effect. He writes. I don't know if that's true. Obviously, a very low tempering effect. I mean, I've never heard someone temper any steel at 100 degrees, but I thought I'll throw that in there because it reminded me of that.
That is really interesting. It's way too much good content in the show. I'll do my sorry, Albert, please edit this out. But he definitely won't. I will do my hot takes, and we are nearing like the 40-50 minutes mark already. Maybe do you want to play a game after that?
We haven't had all our questions. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
we'll have after that. So we'll dive more into the bullshit ones, right? Right, finally. So so my hot takes are, I had a few actually. Let me remember them. Okay, first one, I see
Yeah.
I hate choil shots. I hate it. It doesn't mean fucking anything. A choil shot is like the most stupid place you would, why are you looking at a choil shot? You're looking at it just to see if it will rub on your finger and make you boo boo, right? And not like
Yeah.
to see the geometry itself. It's
Mostly.
bullshit. It's
But
bullshit.
Yes, mostly, yeah.
It's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's my hot take. Thank you for agreeing. It's 100% bullshit. It tells you of the edge thickness of the heel.
Now I
right?
get to play devil's advocate, right? I would say it maybe. Wait. Oh,
No.
Okay,
we have to go.
okay.
Please skip.
I shut my mouth.
No, nobody goes contrarian on my ass on my show.
I'm very sorry. Please don't hit me again.
Yeah, sorry.
I'll rub myself with the lotion.
Don't. Please don't tell with what I'm hitting. So, right. The second hot take was all about. Yeah, it was all about carbon steel. I feel like the stainless steel in new day and age is way more superior. And looking at a mono steel, carbon steel knives, I feel like, why? It's just because you are cheap. Just go
Kitchen
with the
or
stainless.
outdoor?
Stainless. Even ABL has both. But you again. But
yeah,
it's a hot take.
It's a wrong
it's
take.
Not about
a
you
hot take
saying no to me. No, it's my
not
hot take.
necessarily wrong.
I know. I like the toughness is great. ABL has great toughness. It has like great edge retention, and you can forget about any rust ever. And then the geezers come. But actually, if you do stainless cladding on a Apex Ultra steel, you get it both of the worlds.
Yeah, there I'm with you.
No,
but I dare
no.
you to try an Apex Ultra or even maybe ball bearing steel carbon knife next to an ABL kitchen knife. I will say same geometry, same edge, and in regards to wear resistance, achievable sharpness, and how long the sharpness the edge holds, the carbon steels in that case will be better. And I will go as far, because I'm not a fan of those super high alloy PM steels like MagnaCut, M390, what have you, in the kitchen. I own knives like that, kitchen knives. And I talked about that with Angela a lot, my work wife. The razor sharpness, the porn sharpness, the fucking freak sharpness, both carbon steels and those high alloy steels will lose that pretty similarly fast. And then those high alloy steels will hold grandmother's edge for very long. My mother would be very happy with that edge. That's all right. And it would be a superior knife for her, because it really holds a very sharp edge for a long time. But that kind of sharpness is too little for me, and I don't want it. And then with those high alloy tool steels, I have more trouble resharpening them. So that's the big thing about carbon steels for me. And AEBL is similar. You can really easily sharpen it back, but then AEBL is inferior to those other carbon steels in regards to edge holding, not edge rolling, and wear resistance and all that. So
it's very tough. ABL is super tough, at least from my looking into the toughness charts, which could be found on Knife Steel Nerds website. And these are two separate graphs containing, like on the x-axis you have the hardness, and on the y-axis you have the toughness. If you overlay it with carbon steels,
but you can't rely on
steels,
data in
you can
those
see
regards, because the
ABL
data will tell you that wear resistance of those high alloy steels is way better, and the data will tell you that those steels stay sharper for way longer. But as I told you, I mean, that freak sharpness they will lose pretty quickly. And everyone I've talked to says the same.
Yeah, but
What?
Wait, please let me finish, right? So I totally agree on you on the edge retention, right? But We have no idea on what geometry it is being tested on. And my thinking goes, and look, listeners, take it with a grain of salt. I'm just outdoors guy who's talking about kitchen knife geometry and the toughness of the steels and
Rock
blah, blah,
of
blah, blah.
salt.
Yeah, Benjamin is way the expert here, but my thinking goes as follows. In like the edge retention tests, we have no idea on the geometry that is being tested, right? And most all professional maker-made kitchen knives are very thin at the edge, right? Let's say they are thin compared to what you would do on the Catra testing for edge retention. And when you have a very fine edge, very thin edge, small geometry, right? We are talking about small thickness. What comes into play when cutting is not only the razor sharp, the very fine edge, but the geometry itself too. Yeah. So let's keep it out of the equation. Let's say everything has the same geometry, right? So it should perform equally and be based on the edge retention. But the idea goes is not on the abrasion resistance, right? Where the heavy alloys like vanadium gives you like hard vanadium carbides and it makes you cut very long. When we are talking about very fine edges and them holding sharpness, it is actually, I think it is the edge stability itself, which is the manifestation of microscopic level toughness of the steel. So the tougher the steel, the longer the actual edge retention and these small sizes, right? Yeah. So I would say the tougher steel with very thin geometry would stay sharper longer when it's very small geometry than a very high particle metallurgy steel with very high abrasion resistance, but that has very low toughness. Which you can see on M390.
Yeah, no, you're not completely wrong, but I mean that what you just said would tell us that spring steels, for example, would make the best knives. Like ATCR V2 would make the best kitchen knives because it's super tough and they are not bad. And if you strop them, they can work for a long time. But I think it's a combination of the two factors, so wear resistance and toughness, which makes Apex Ultra so great, to be honest. Because it combines it in a sweet spot for me at least, and similar steels like blue Hitachi blue and what have you, 125-19 and all those 124-19, because it has to do both, because ATCR V2 doesn't have any of those carbides which would make the wear resistance increase the wear resistance.
It has very little carbides actually. Yeah. So
so it has
I
to be
totally
both.
agree.
Yeah.
You totally ruined my hot take. You made it all scientific, and I have to justify my hot take. Like just
no, I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah,
carbon steel stuff.
Yeah, carbon steels can suck my ass. They rust.
For outdoor knives, I'm totally with you. I would never buy an outdoor knife because I don't get the idea behind how you would clean it in the field. And I never understood that. Some still buy them, but in the kitchen it's different. I mean, I've never had a practical issue with rust in the kitchen other than abuse in the sense that I forgot the knife, laying in lemon juice on my cutting board or things like that. But in practical use, there is no difference. There is no rust in the kitchen. Other than when you are a filthy bitch.
We have a question about that, but I have my last hot take.
Yeah.
I deliver you 3 hot takes, right?
How can you deliver 3 hot takes? How is that even allowed?
I have
He asked for our
have
biggest.
a lot of like all of them are big. Like I have big 3 things, right?
So something to compensate there, Pauli.
Yeah. Like it's very hot, and you can take it. It's a hot take. So the last one: if you do kitchen knives from carbon steels, and your surface finish is sandblasted, you should burn in hell.
Why? What?
Look, if you are making a carbon steel chef knife, right? 1084 or ATCR-V2,
Uh-huh.
and you sandblast it with a rough media like 40, 80 grit, whatever, and this is your finish? No. Straight to hell.
I mean, I'm with you, but more in regards to performance issues like food stiction.
Yeah.
But that would
Yeah.
be true for stainless steels as well. But you specifically said carbon steels.
Yeah. It's a rust heaven. It's a rust even imagine like cutting it's so sticky. Imagine everything. All of the potatoes are sticking and it's so hard to clean. And even if you try to clean it, like there are microscopic craters there that
totally.
Ugh.
But I mean, couldn't we agree on every knife that is blasted like that? Because even outdoor knives that are blasted with such a coarse medium will suck, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Because
I will. Sorry. Correction.
Yeah.
Correction. Not only rough media, but even fine media. So all, all of the sandblasted kitchen knives that are made from carbon steels.
bead blasting is
makers
super
need
smooth
to-
though,
Yeah, but
and it doesn't.
So
It hardens the surface.
it's bead blasting. Yeah, bead blasting is a little bit different. I'm talking about
you
sandblasting.
just
Bead
said
blasting
all the
is
media
basically
blasting.
just talking about grit.
You didn't say that, so we have to be correct
Yeah,
here. I mean, Polly, come
Albert
on.
will fix it.
Polly.
so yeah. Just abrasive media, not like peening action, right? Not like using balls, but like using sharp abrasive media
Yeah.
to create microscopic fucking cavities in
Yeah.
your knives.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, it will cut so good, and everything fucking sticks to it.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. That
And rust.
do some
Yeah.
people do that on outdoor knives? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it
No,
feels
outdoor knives?
horrible to the touch. It feels like a chalkboard. It gives me shivers when I touch surfaces like that.
To be very neutral, because I'm the host of this show, yes. I've seen some of our listeners, and maybe not listeners, do that on Instagram. And people, it will come and bite you in the ass. I even saw some people who are sandblasting Damascus. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? So,
I know
Yeah.
of a guy who bead blasts it, but that's a very nice result. And
it's you always with the justifications.
I'm
We can
just
clearly
trying
see
to
who
put
is
in
the
context and give perspective.
but are you?
I'm such a
You sound like
peacemaker.
a German. You're like the main idea is like give a hot take and don't elaborate.
No, yeah, fuck that.
Huh?
Sandblasted
Yeah.
knives.
It's fucked up. Okay, so and I think going with the hot take, we had one of the questions. I will just go and then we will do the game, right? Because this show will be fucking long. NLE Nli fuck asks. It's a cool dude. I don't know. Nli FAK, maybe I should spell your name. A cool dude on Instagram has one hot take. The custom knife market is saturated and competition is fierce. And this is the hot take. And it's maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. I feel like looking at this, I agree that there is a lot of competition, but I see a lot of people that don't have competition and do great work.
I have to specify the hot take again.
Really?
He's talking probably about EDC and outdoor knives mainly when he follows you, right?
The second question from him is about kitchen knives.
Huh.
So,
Yeah, I wouldn't agree on kitchen knives, to be honest. But in regards to saturated, but I could see that with outdoor knives, but they have been around for longer. And also there, I couldn't say saturated because there are some people also in the folding knife scene who put out amazing numbers at amazing prices. So I don't see how you could say it's saturated when they make it happen like that, right?
well, in Nli FAK's defense, I would say that I have seen a lot of K-tip chefs that look like the same from similar makers.
Uh-huh.
And maybe that gives you an idea of just putting a harpoon on it. Harpoon tip doesn't create a different style, and it looks like when you see a certain style of knife repeated a lot, it gives you the feeling of, that the market for this type of knife is saturated. So my idea is people who copy, they saturate the market, and people who innovate, they don't have the fierce competition because they are the innovators and they create the hot new shit, right? They reap almost all of the rewards. And the people who copy and make it my own, or am very heavily inspired by it, basically rip it off. They are at fierce competition with the other dudes that rip it off.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, yeah, I don't know how to. A bad knife maker or someone who puts out a bad product is never the baseline. So in any industry, so I don't know how to refer to that.
Yeah.
It's a hot take.
Yeah, it's a hot take. And another question from him: practical kitchen knives should be dishwasher safe.
Fuck
according
you. Who is
to
that?
My wife.
Who is that? I will block him immediately. That's horrible. That's like I always bring the car comparison. I recently said to some
wait.
Okay.
It's according to his wife.
According to his wife.
Right?
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't want to disrespect the wife.
You turned red instantly, yeah? You redlined instantly.
Yeah, I blocked him already. I found him and blocked him while talking.
Nli FAK, please subscribe to our Patreon. And Ben will
yeah, if he subscribes, I will unblock him.
Yeah. Even the lowest.
But now I have to really block him, right?
Yeah, I will send his Instagram your way.
I think his wife's thinking is a layperson's thinking. My boss, when I started making knives, in the blacksmith shop, he started or he said to me, he was shocked about the prices I would want to ask, and we started making kitchen knives and selling them through his company back then. And he was completely a layperson, and he said a knife for that price has to be able to do anything, cut chicken bones, be put in the dishwasher, and maybe you can fly to Mars and back with it as well, since it's so expensive, right? And I told him, and that's where I started to adapt the car analogy, because I use those so often. He drove a Porsche, and I told him that car is made for a specific task. It's very good in that one task, and it will not be able to do other tasks like driving in the mud or driving up a mountain very well. But it will do its special task very well, like racetrack or, be fast, be good in curves and all that. And that's where he started to understand. And I think when people say shit like that it should be able to do that, it's just very uneducated and very, unreflected in a way.
Oh, you're so mean. You're so mean to his wife. You're a wife beater. That is... Look, Jesus
I was not
Christ,
talking about his wife. I was
so
talking in general about the opinion. I abstracted the wife.
So uneducated, so ignorant. You don't know anything about cars. You don't know anything about my knife. You're like the fucking ego in this guy. But look, taking the car analogy, not everybody dailies a Porsche. So maybe she's more of a Kia Rio guy, Kia Rio wife, or Fiat Multipla kind of gal, and she doesn't really care about it.
But knives don't belong in the dishwasher. There is only one kind of knife you can put into the dishwasher, and there you also have to be careful. We have cheap knives, and I've put them into the dishwasher. You know what happens when your knife edge is on a stainless steel container or something like that? No, it corrodes away. It's really, it looks like a chip. You can see it with your eyes. Like, yeah, it's a...
Really? I don't have a dishwasher.
What?
Yeah, I wash it with my hands.
Let your mother wash it.
Nah. In our apartment, there is very little space, so I wash it with my hands.
You're too... I mean... Yeah,
I don't have kids, so I have like 2 dishes to wash.
I mean, if I was alone with my wife, we wouldn't need it as much either. Do you cook a lot? Yeah, that's...
Define cooking.
Define cooking is the wrong question, cooking. So you don't cook a lot. Thanks. That answered it perfectly.
Like, look. I made chicken curry for half a week for myself.
That
right. So I cooked for myself. I meal prep,
That counts. But I mean,
and I eat sandwiches for my lunch.
no, that
So,
doesn't count. That
I
doesn't
know.
count as cooking.
Yeah, it doesn't count. I know. So it doesn't count that I cook a lot. I just don't have. I'm
Yeah,
building a
no,
business.
it
I'm not
wasn't.
cooking
I didn't mean to
fucking
offend you,
cake.
but I was just asking because if you cook a lot, like we do, like a big dish for 2 days and then another one, there will be a lot of plates and yeah, pots
Yeah.
and. But
you know, just going
Yeah.
on a little rant. Wait, I just want to go on a little rant about cooking. I actually, I hate cooking. I
What a hot
love
take.
baking and I hate cooking. Like, cooking for me is more like jazz, where you just skip deep, skip beep beep, dip dip dip, where you just play along like the music, the taste theory, and you allow yourself to do, something. Maybe I have this, I have that, and just make it something, and it's good. It's good according to the theory of meal prepping. And I don't like that. I don't like improvising, and I like consistent results. And that's why I like baking, because you have a recipe, you can prepare for it, and you have just put it in the oven, go watch a little bit of YouTube, and you have perfect
Okay,
sweet
motherfucker,
cakes.
listen up. I hate that as well, which is why I have my own recipe book. I write my own recipes because I will forget shit. I will forget amounts, and once I like something a lot, I will want to have that again exactly like that. So I write my own recipes and then I put it in the recipe book and I cook like you would bake. and the reason for that is my mom always cooked very good. It was always great. But sometimes the goulash was better than other times because she was just going with it. She was playing chess, and I don't like chess.
Yeah. So, dear listeners, if you subscribe to our Patreon, you gain access to the Benjamin Camon's 2025 cooking book. The 12 pages PDF.
No.
No. No, they don't know.
Oh, okay. Yes.
I mean, you are so bad at playing along.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
You're like
I know.
always on the side of the listener. Like, always. Yeah. Even hot takes become soft takes. Soft cakes. Right? So, okay. Maybe you should go and play the game already.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking
I don't
Christ.
even know which game. I mean,
You have no fucking idea. Look, this show started with the most grotesque, awful fucking game ever. It was this or that, where Matt had two terrible things for you to choose from. And you had to choose one or the other. Which one was basically fucking your mother or sucking off your father? And you have to choose one, It was terrible. It was terrible. So
I liked it.
in light of that, I created a more look. This is how it will go. I will list off like one thing or another thing, right? It will be a lightning round. I have like 15 examples, and you just quickly go with your gut without any clarification, right? You will choose one of them.
I will be bad at this game, but yes.
You will have to quickly choose, and maybe after the game is finished, you have chosen everything. We will maybe revisit some, and then you can figure out the justification why you chose one or the other, right?
Okay.
And possibly maybe there will be a prize at the end of the game, depending how
I'm
it goes.
scared. But
Right?
yes.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Give me a second. Had to fart. Had to fart. Scream. I had to scream at the microphone. No, okay. So, are the rules clear?
No, but let's start.
Yeah, just an example, right?
Yeah.
Red or blue?
Blue.
Done, and it's done. And I give you another example.
Okay.
We go like, okay, ladies and gentlemen, da-da-da-da-da-da. Let me present you the game of the show, this or that, the pilot episode, and maybe the last episode of this show. Benjamin, come on, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go. Carbon or stainless?
Carbon.
Wood or micarta?
Wood.
A kydex or leather?
Kydex.
Laser or workhorse?
Laser.
Hand sanded or belt finish?
Belt finish.
Oh, goodbye. Vanilla or chocolate?
Chocolate.
Evening or morning?
Morning.
Ass or tits?
Ass.
New school or old school?
Old school.
Angelina Jolie or Pamela Anderson?
Angie.
Ass sweat or ball itch?
What?
Ass sweat or ball itch?
Oh, ass sweat.
Ass sweat. Handle shaped like a dick or blade shaped like a penis?
Handle.
Pee-pee time or poo-poo time?
Pee-pee.
Nipples the size and shape of your penis or penis the size of your nipples?
The first, I think.
Nipples the size and the shape of your penis. Okay.
Otherwise it would be bad.
That's it. That's about it. Thank you for participating. You did really good. You did really well. You did way better than the previous one.
The questions were great.
Okay, I would like to revisit some of those. The one is like evening or morning.
Yeah.
Why did you choose morning? Like, are you more of a morning person?
Not. I mean, I get up and it's okay, but mornings are the start of the day, and evening it's the end of the day. And I'm a very positive person, I would say. So I'm looking forward more to the start of the day and the rest of the day than the evening. Evening is boring. I go to sleep and it's just the day is over.
I'm like the reverse. I'm feeling terrible in the mornings. I'm like all groggy, but in the evenings I'm so excited for the next day. I'm like when I go to sleep, everything is like quiet, and I'm thinking about how I'm going to attack the day, like tomorrow.
Although you're thinking about the next day, that's legitimate. I could associate with that as well.
Yeah, but you made a choice.
Yeah,
the one that goes with our team, like hand sanded or belt finish. You chose belt finish.
Of course. I mean, hand sanding is for untalented people who want to lend their lack of skills by hand sanding and investing a lot of irrational time. Maybe that should have been my hot take before.
I love this.
I hate hand sanding, and I don't think, to be honest, I always say that hand sanding, everyone can do it. It is a lot of labor. It is expensive, therefore, and it is worth what it is worth in that sense. But it affords no skill, in my opinion. Every monkey, if you school him, could hand sand. It's a forward, backward motion. You have to go through the grids, and it's so inefficient, and it isn't worth what it costs. So that's my proper, formulation. Belt finish is harder to do and more efficient, and it's on par visually, in my opinion. I mean, it's lines going in the other direction. What do you want to tell me? Everyone who says lengthwise lines make such a big difference. Yeah, I don't buy it.
I can already hear Albert saying like, "All right, belt finish looks terrible on Damascus."
No, all my Damascus blades, all my collabs, look up the pictures in the Instagram and tell me they look bad. All of them are belt finish. All of them. If you go up the grids, and that's, I mean, I can do that with the water-cooled belt grinder. If you go 400 grit, 90 meter per second on a belt, uncooled, you will never have fucked up a blade so quickly. I can tell you.
I think you shouldn't be surprised if after the show you get Albert writes you, sends you some images of your knives, and with the wording, "This looks bad." Yes,
looking forward to it.
Amateur. And your comeback will be, well, comes from a guy who has never been on Blade magazine cover. Right.
You're giving me my comebacks. I love it.
Yeah. Look, I'm here. I'm here for it. A very interesting choice was made. 2 choices: wood or micarta. You chose wood, and yet choosing kydex or leather, you chose kydex.
Yeah.
Any elaboration? You don't have to go on a half an hour rant, but you can just
No.
just,
I mean, for the Sayas, it was actually difficult. So Kydex would be what I would make if I would make Kydex Sayas or leather Sayas. I don't appreciate the way there, but I appreciate a well-made leather Saya. So from a customer perspective, but not from a maker perspective. And maybe I think in function the Kydex would be superior in the sense that you could wash it out, and leather would be inferior in the sense that if dirt gets in there, it sucks. In regards to handle, it's the opposite way. I don't like working with micarta a lot. It's very delicate grinding it. I think it breaks easily, or heats up, burns.
burns easily.
Yeah. And then also in the sense of kitchen knives, I prefer wood for the most of it for the looks, but most of the times, if it's not the super dense wood, it's lighter as well. And usually with kitchen knives, you would look for a handle material that is not too heavy for the balance and all that. Yeah. But I'm a fan of micarta handles as well, so it's not a very big.
I love how you almost never take any like hard stand.
Oh yeah, I did on belt finishes.
Yeah, you
but
did.
it's
You
true.
did.
I mean,
At
I
least
like
there.
micarta handles, and I've made them. I like the result. I like how it looks. It's a bit dense and heavy, but I like them.
Next one was ass or tits. I don't think we need to comment on this one. It's pretty obligatory. We fully agree on this one. So
We.
yeah,
Speaking for all
fully
men.
agree on that. All the dear listeners, if you don't agree or you like tits more, please write in. Send the picture of the tits that you like, and and if you are the one that is like, actually, it needs to be a delicate balance between ass or tits. No, it's you need to choose one. So you can just go and support us on Patreon and use your energy that wise. The next one is new school or old school. Me knowing you, it's obvious. It's obvious you are an old school guy.
Okay.
Yeah,
In what way?
I mean,
Because
maybe
I'm
do
curious.
you have some shade? Maybe do you have some just about the music you are listening to?
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe you have some shade to drop on the new school guys in any other sphere, or
No.
no? Okay.
I don't have the time to get into new shit, but when I listen to new stuff, I might adapt it as well. But I know the old shit, and I'm just too lazy to get into new stuff. So
the ass sweat and ballage, a good choice because it's just.
I mean,
sweat, sometimes the ball itches are nasty and it's very hard to get them out. To itch them out, it's it's just it itches, right? I guess DB Blades knows a thing or two about really bad ball itches.
with that oxidation.
A very interesting one is handle shaped like a dick or a blade shaped like a penis, and you chose the handle shaped like a dick, so you like to be on the receiving end of the dick, I guess, to hold it in your hand.
I mean, it sits nice in the hand. We know that from experience.
Ergonomic.
And it's still a functioning knife then. And it would look kind of cool, I think.
Okay, kind of ergonomic, right?
But I mean, we have to talk about is the the tip going backwards and the ball sack at the choil, or is the tip going towards the knife's tip? But other than that, if a blade would be dick shaped, then it's not usable, right?
Yeah, not really usable. I think it's a good choice, even if there is a little recurve. It is better that it's on the handle, not on the the blade itself. I totally agree with you with the pee time over poo time. It's just the same pleasure, just without the mess.
Yes, and less effort.
And I'll skip the nipples, the size and shape of your penis and the penis size of your nipples, and we will go to the deal breaker. To the deal breaker of the show. Angelina Jolie or Pamela Anderson? You chose Angelina Jolie. Why did you choose Angelina Jolie?
No particular reason. It's just, I don't know. Either of
Right.
the two wouldn't be my first choice.
So sorry. I will try. Look, I will try and play an voice message from Keith, who is sponsoring this bit. I hope you can hear it. I will try. Okay.
Yeah, sure, do the bit, and I'll give Ben €50 coupon to spend on knife material, but only if he chooses Pamela Anderson because she is blonde.
I hope it came out.
Yeah,
Did you hear
perfect. Tell me you recorded two versions of this.
No.
Is it really?
No. Yeah.
Yeah, although his reasoning is legit, I will say that.
Like, you
Both kind of look like an old
hoped-
crack
I-
whore, so at least by now. So I don't know.
I cannot say it. I cannot say it now what I wanted to say, but I we did this so it would be in favor of you. Just we thought you prefer blondes, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. And typically
Yeah.
I would do, but Pamela Anderson was a bad choice. Couldn't you have thrown some Scarlett Johansson in there or something like that? That would be easy.
I have Scarlett Johansson. I have no idea how she
Yeah,
looks like.
motherfucker, you do. you
I-
see her every
think
night. I know you.
Scarlett Johansson. I don't know. Is she blonde? Yeah, is she blonde? I think I've seen a movie or two with her, but I don't know. I'm not very big into movie stars. So,
Yeah.
These are two from the Borat days, very nice. So we don't have the movies up here. So this was the game. Sadly, you freaking lost. You could have won €50, and this was the game. So in rating, doing this on air, what do you think? Is it could it be refined to be a better game with a host, with a guest, or is it
No, great game. I wonder if you all the time come up with funny questions, because I think especially about the stupid ones you will run out, or so. But
Yeah,
I think it's great.
I think maybe we could just not to go too much into the meta of doing this podcast, but there is a little bit of adjusting to what you actually do. So, and then asking the questions on which you could have some opinion, right? Like carbon or stainless or a belt finish and hand sanded in your case. And adjusting these questions to the guest allows you to tackle some more interesting, topics. Why did you chose that? And they get an opportunity to talk about yada yada
Nice.
yada, right? So dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. This is the end of the game, this or that, and now back to the show. Do you want to do some retarded questions?
Retarded ones. So I have one stupid one. Hardened Knife asks, when will you wear wigs? And I never thought about it, but the second I read it, I thought I'll have to get myself one of those, Mozart wigs at some point.
Right. I mean, for Halloween you could wear a wig.
No, I'm saying like every day in the shop, just like workwear.
So, are you balding?
No.
So why would you wear a
Cool.
wig?
Why did Mozart wear a wig?
I mean, maybe because he was a bald
Yeah,
motherfucker.
I don't know. Maybe. I have one horrible question, and other than that, I have serious ones.
Oh, okay. So maybe you do one horrible one. We do a couple of really stupid ones, and then we go into the smart and interesting ones, and then maybe finish out with another one really stupid one
Okay.
and call it a day. If you have time.
If we are cancelable, we will get cancelled for the next question, but it doesn't come from us.
Well, it could not. if we would be cancelled, we would have been already just because of the Punani episode.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So sharp rectangle on Instagram asks, if Hitler was brought back to life today, where would you take him to dinner? And I thought a bit if I should bring the question, but then I had a great idea. So yeah, you start.
German doner kebab.
That's actually great. I he would love that. he would
So-
instantly suicide, and then the problem would be solved as well. I thought about Elfriede Braunsteiner. You know by chance who that is? I don't know if she got famous outside of Austria. So she was an old woman who I think she married older men, and then over time span of 1 or 2 years she killed them by poisoning their food. And she did that a bunch of times, and I think she was only caught like, I don't know, a decade or something like that after the fact. So she killed a bunch of men, and I thought if she makes him dinner, then that's all right as well.
I mean that's a very interesting
Yeah.
take. Oh, that's a very good take.
Elfriede will cook
I
for
mean-
him. I won't have any appetite that day.
What is the start of the question? If he would be alive now?
If he was brought back to life today.
Or maybe we can travel back in time and I can take him into the Twin Towers, 9/11.
That's very creative.
for a dinner. Imagine the headlines. Hitler dies on a terrorist attack on American soil. So it's a sad celebration.
How would you get him through
Yeah.
the
So-
checkpoints, like on the airport?
I mean, we have time travel, so we could
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
go to
Yeah.
the, you know,
True.
just teleport. Right.
Do you have a
It's-
Well, stupid,
Stupid
or
questions.
serious?
okay.
No, keep your stupid question for the last one. If you only have one,
I have like 1, 2, 3, 4,
okay,
5,
okay. Then
6.
keep like 2 because we don't want to end on a serious note.
Yeah. So Lawrence Schultz asks, favorite type of cheese and how y'all would take over France. And my favorite kind of cheese is, I guess I'm super basic. I like mozzarella.
Mm-hmm.
Mozzarella is pretty fine. I tried some. We have this powdery harte Käse.
Yeah.
It's actually written on the. It smells terrible. It's the most disgusting cheese that I have ever tried. So I like mozzarella. And for the second, how would I take over France? I mean, just ignore the Maginot Line and go to Paris. That is pretty obvious.
Take over, like,
Yeah. How would you take over the France?
interesting.
I mean, ignore their defenses, go around the Maginot Line and go to Paris. That's about it.
Yeah, but then it's taken over already, just because you're in Paris.
Yeah, that's like I'm doing like I wouldn't even invade France. I'm not really fond of France, you know? All the people that I talk to, they say that they don't like French people. So I don't know. Why should I take over it?
Antoine,
what about
Antoine
you?
was very nice.
I love Antoine.
See?
Antoine, you're my bro. You're my bro. You're the best. You're the only and the best Frenchman that I know.
I know another Frenchman. He's very nice as well. So I can't, out of experience, I can't confirm that sentiment or stereotype. But yeah, yeah. What was the question? Yeah, cheese. Favorite cheese.
Yeah.
I don't know how this translates into English, but I looked it up. It should be hand cheese. It's a cheese that doesn't have any fat. It's like 30 grams protein. It's kind of slightly translucent. Seasoning is with turmeric, and it smells horrible, which is so great. It smells like ball sweat and ass sweat combined, left in the sun for 1 week. But it tastes really great, and it's healthy as well. I would say.
And how would you take over the France?
With hand cheese, actually, because they would
Hand cheese. Oh,
they they would not like that at all, and they would leave, and then the country would be mine.
To be honest, it sounds disgusting just because it's translucent. So I kind of imagine translucent, milky, whitish substance.
Just slightly.
Sounds like a.
But yeah, it's actually like gummy bears in consistency. Like it's not super chewy, but especially in comparison to cheese, you would associate it like that.
And it's salty.
Yeah, it's pretty salty. Yeah.
Okay, next question. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. Like Jesus Christ. Right. K1 Ryu-chan asks, what is the best Lego set that came out in 2024? Sorry, doesn't compute. I don't, no idea.
My boy plays Lego a lot, the older one, and he got a set right now from Mold Kings, which is a Lego ripoff, but pretty nice quality. It's huge. It got a bunch of motors in it, and yeah, he loves it. But I couldn't tell you which one it is. I think it's a white Mercedes G-Wagon with 3 axles. So it's a pretty big, even in Lego sizes.
I'm surprised that you have an answer for this question. But
yeah, it's a
makes
second
sense.
hand, I would say.
And we have a shit ton of questions from Salzburger Messerschmiede. I think Andy or Albert got access to internet and ChatGPT and generated a lot of questions. So we will just blast through them and leave 2 for the end, the most fun ones. So the first one, if you are waiting for the waiter, aren't you the waiter? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are waiting for the waiter, and still the waiter is waiting to wait the tables for you. So you are both the waiters
You
in that
broke me.
case. Okay, next question. If your ears oozed spaghetti every time you sneezed, how long before you just start carrying Parmesan? I wouldn't like to eat my ear spaghettis. So, maybe I would choose a profession in circus.
Yeah.
And I mean, everybody carries a little bit of Parmesan with themselves, Nothing lifts your spirit up like a small piece of Parmesan from
Why
the
would
pocket.
you go to the circus and not be an Italian cook?
Mamma mia, that's a great idea.
Hua!
I mean,
Served.
served. I just don't go to the kitchen. Oh, the pasta is so good. I need to give my thanks for the chef. Oh no. Okay. Next one. Jesus Christ. If your anvil disappeared every time full moon and returned sticky, what do you do? And I'm reading as it is written. So I guess it's Andy because it's like broken English. If your anvil disappeared every time full moon and returned sticky, what you do? Well, Andy, I do nothing. I don't do. I don't touch. I wash my anvil and I continue to work. I am stock removal guy. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, sticky anvil. I don't know why full moon and what happened to it. But my fantasy is going. I will think about that one.
You see,
I will have an answer next time.
and we have, and I will leave 2 for the end. So it's enough brain rot, dear listeners. Almost to our mark. Let's answer some serious questions and finish with a more brain rot.
I've got a question from Cruz Diaz Alexanders from Instagram. Why do you seem to mostly use monosteel instead of a sanmai? I mean, there can be some benefits to sanmai other than the visuals of it, but in my opinion, in most cases, technically speaking, monosteel is superior. And visually, I don't think it's that beneficial. So yeah, I think that would be my answer. That beneficial to do sanmai. There are exceptions when I do special blades, like the stainless steel Sanmai I made one time or two times. I don't know how often I made it, but anyways, that's kind of cool in my opinion. But that goes into the more into the Damascus realm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't do Damascus either, so yeah.
I think you don't do that. It's a hot take. I can only answer with a hot take because I also do only monosteel. But I think doing sanmais and kitchen knives, I see the popularity grow with stainless sanmai over Apex Ultra, just for people to have it easier to hand sand. And as you don't do hand sanding.
Yeah. No, that's an argument. I mean, from the maker's perspective, Hangler told me that he sometimes laminates his Apex Ultra with ADCR V2, because ADCR V2, the blade then still would behave like a monosteel blade because it fully hardens as well. It's super tough, but it's way easier to grind, and that's really probably from a maker's perspective and technically and performance perspective the only thing I could think of that makes sense. Other than that, it's almost only ever visual. So if you have stainless clad and someone tells you that the knife is then stainless, that's just not really the case. So it's not a technical argument, and it looks nice. You can, I mean, argue with the visuals of it. That's fine, but don't bullshit me.
And maybe just trying to defend the case, maybe you are using less of the expensive core material.
No.
Right? But you're still adding more,
and that's way more
into it.
expensive than the core material.
And
way more.
yeah, and maybe if you are trying to do, maybe not. If you're trying like to do compound grinds, maybe if you do soft cladding, maybe that helps with straightening the blade.
Everyone tells you, and I said that on another podcast, but fuck it. Everyone tells you that the Japanese use the core layer and the Sanmai construction to save steel, and that might have played a role. But I've never heard the argument that blades are easier to straighten than, and the Japanese always were water quenching. So try quenching fucking monosteel, especially Shirogami, Aogami, some high alloy steels in water. Thin kitchen knives, monosteel. There's no way. It will be warped and there's no way to straighten that. So I think that at least plays a role, if it's not even the main reason for the Sanmai technique in their case. Yeah.
Right. Perfect sense.
Do you have another question or should I proceed?
I have only bullshit ones.
Okay, then I'll say also from WFI Euro podcast. I don't know who wrote it, but where do you see your business in 5 years and then again in 10 years?
Jesus Christ.
I think we answered that, to be honest. Or, I mean, you did
we
and I did too. I did too. Yeah.
And you also talked about it in the last episode, I think, when we are talking about your press that you got.
I have one question that is a bit longer. And it is from Robin Knife Maker 1. He's a new knife maker. I'm not reading the question, but he feels a bit, he says frozen, but I think he feels like, how do you say it? Awkward or shy about posting his first knives. And he has doubts about the level of perfection and things like that. I think he just doesn't know if he can post them already or should wait. And then he also has a question in regard to should he post on his old account, on his existing account, or should he start a new one? And if Instagram would block him, I think you should just post and see what the response is and maybe take that as criticism also. I mean, not all criticism is legitimate, but maybe you can take something away for yourself and improve. If you don't need your old account, I don't see a problem with posting on your old account, but you can also start a new one. That's kind of, I couldn't really answer that. And Instagram can fuck with you, but there is. I don't think it will delete your account. What's your opinion?
Actually, this is a really good question, right? And I think the earlier you post, the better,
Yeah.
just because, you can be shy about the work that you do, and you shouldn't be, because without exception, all of us did some shitty knives that we are embarrassed of. But what we love to see, and I don't judge if I see someone making like terrible, like in my opinion, terrible knives. I judge them if they do them for a year, 2 years, 3 years without any improvement. Then I do the judging, right? And the best thing that you could do is actually start posting. And as you are conscious about your work, this would motivate you to improve, right? Because you see the imperfections in them. That's why you most probably are insecure of posting them. But we as makers, this community is mostly super accepting. And yeah, we would love just to see a progression of a maker. That would make us actually follow an account and see like, oh, look, I remember a year and a half he posted this, and now he's posting this, and he's like doing this shit, right? And
They will celebrate you improving as well, as long as you do.
100%. Right. And as long as you do, this is really important. And there is no need for you to work in your garage for 5 years to come up with this masterpiece, that you can actually showcase for the world, just because the competition is actually so fierce, and it's not actually the competition, but like the innovation, the beauty that the makers on Instagram are able to achieve, that it is really hard to impress with just one picture, and the progression works way better. And this builds you an audience. I've been doing knife making for like 7 years already. And I have people following me from the early days, and they reminisce on the fondness of like seeing my improvement. And this is always so heartwarming that they never stopped following me because I posted some bullshit, right? Maybe this is not the most beautiful knife, right? And if you are I would say, I don't know what is your account right now, but if you are posting your personal stuff, I would create a separate knife making account and just post your knives there, so you get more direct audience, so they know what content kind of to expect from.
I would have one last serious question, and then I think we would be onto your two bullshit questions, and then we
you close it out. Poop it out.
I mean,
call it good pee time, sleepy time, whatever time.
That is a long podcast this time around.
It should be a short show.
Richard Schultz Knives asks, human or radical constructivism? What are you saying? Like, I don't know. I had to look that up. What constructivism is. And I don't know if I fully understand it. Do you know what it is?
No, I'm too dumb.
So from what I've read, there is kind of a debate if there is an objective matter to things. So when you say you see a glass, is that really a glass? Would another individual also perceive this as a glass? Is it an objective truth that is a glass, that it is translucent, and all those things? Or is it mostly constructed in our minds and very subjective? I think that is what he is asking. I think so. From what when I put in constructivism and flown over the things, that is what I understood. But maybe I'm completely off of that.
It sounds like an easy one, but it's really not. But I would love to be it easy. I think if you would have Albert, which Albert has like 3 PhDs in philosophy, he could answer this one way better. But just going with my dumb, stupid mind, right? We are talking about how something is perceived, right? And we cannot, in no real way, perceive the reality in any other way than through the senses
Yeah.
that we have, right? It's impossible. Even if we create a device
Yeah.
that can perceive, we are perceiving that device through our senses. So even if we see any kind of evidence of constructed reality, right? Constructivism, it can be written off to being just human perception, right? So I would go, it's a matter of belief, but all of the evidence and our capability is limited to just being human perception.
Yeah, I would be interested what Albert says to that. I mean, I think it's right down his alley, even though it's philosophy what he did, and that sounds more like psychology. But I think he would have an opinion.
100%.
I sometimes wondered. I mean, I don't know if it's even that. Maybe I completely understood it wrong. But I sometimes wondered if, like, when I say a thing is red, and you perceive it always as green, then we could still. But as let me rephrase that. You would perceive it what I would say is green, but you call it red as well. But it would always be the same, the shades would always be the same for each of us. But if I would be in your body, I would be shocked because all that was red for me before is all of a sudden green. You are saying red to it, but would we even recognize? We couldn't even tell, right? Because
I fully agree with this, and I was thinking about this from perspective of language. I think George Orwell did a paper or an essay or a short writing about the importance of language and how it shapes us. And the easiest, most simple way to see this, it is how language changes us, especially for our listeners. If you go to listen to any of this show, right, and you go and listen the same guests that go to any other German-speaking podcast, and you can clearly hear how they not only behave differently, right, but they emphasize very different things in their work, and they are like, the language is I think it's super important, really, really important, and it kind of leads the way for us how we perceive reality and in what drawers in our minds we put things in, and even how the word sounds through us, right? How we say like shit, right? Or scheiße, like it sounds similar, right? Right. Sounds similar and creates the feeling in you, right? I lost my train of thought. but it's so important how we perceive the reality, right? And what words we do have. And I feel like if I ever try to emigrate, let's say, and I want to live in America, okay, I could never, ever, ever relate with an American on the same level that I can relate with a Lithuanian speaking Lithuanian language. This because there is so small minutia of understanding of small things. And I think this is where it shows the perception of humankind, right? How we perceive things. So this brings around to the color example, right? If you call something a ship is a male word in one language, or maybe ship is a female word in another language, this has huge implications, right? Huge implications on how you understand, like, only the feeling that brings it up into you when you talk about sailing, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, we are the best. We are simply the
Richard,
best.
will you write me what we completely lost or didn't understand?
This is the nice thing about doing a podcast, because we are talking to all of them at once, and they can never talk to us back on the show.
Motherfuckers.
Only on DMs. Only in DMs. And then maybe we'll bring it up in the next show. Maybe we won't. But Richard, thank you for the question. It was a hard one, even if you misunderstood one. So let's go to the retarded ones, right?
Yeah.
Hello?
Let's
Hello?
go. I
right.
I was bobbing my head. Didn't you hear that?
No, sorry. So, like a lot of people get confused that they come in here and there is no video. And I think like this is a big minus of the show that we don't have any video, because that would be more interesting, to read other people's faces and what's their emotion, etc. But we can't get that just because Keith has a shit internet. So for him not to have shit internet, please go support us on Patreon. Please go to minihill.eu and purchase any kiln that you would like, or heat treatment accessories, heat treatment foils. And at the checkout, use WFI5 for 5% off, and you'll get a little kickback from our sponsor by having kudos, and maybe he will sponsor us for another season. So thank you. Hell yeah. So Salzburg Messerschmitte asks, if your forge whispered insults every time you quenched a blade, would you keep forging? So imagine Benjamin, you are quenching a blade and the forge whispers, your penis is average.
Dude, I thought the same thing. If it would whisper something, I would have whispered your penis is small, but I mean, marry me right now.
I need to play the sound of the marriage, of the marriage.
No, I
march.
think it would motivate me, like when your boss kicks your ass. All of a sudden, the forge would become the boss, and kind of kick your ass all the time. I would probably work more.
Just insults. You stink. Your breath smells. You forgot. You forgot to lock the door. I tricked you.
That forge would be such a motherfucker. I would set it on fire.
Yeah, you should, because you are quenching the blade, right? So I was thinking about it, and again, I'm a stock removal guy. I don't have a forge, so.
What if your CNC does it every time you use it? It doesn't do but yeah.
Son of a bitch. Hey, bitch. Hey, bitch. Hey, bitch. I think soundproof enclosure.
It can scream all day in there.
100%. All night. I would give it some cycle times to work all night, and then open it up, and I'm like, please don't close it. Don't close it. And I'm trying to close it, and it's like, you bitch.
What would you do if it still talks if you unplug it?
Kill myself.
Yeah, proper answer. Proper approach. Right.
proper answer, yeah. I mean, if I unplug it, and it still talks, what if it still talks when I leave the shop? I don't know. So maybe the problem is not the CNC, right? And the last one. The last one from Salzburg Messerschmitte. No idea. Maybe it's Albert, one of our co-hosts, or Andy, the more normal one from Salzburg Messerschmitte. Every time you say came on near the anvil, so your last name, it gets a little warmer. What do?
I mean, does it retain the heat, or?
I don't know. Jeez, this is the question. These two brilliant minds are asking us. Like a PhD philosopher.
It gets warmer, and then, I mean, I wouldn't care. But maybe I would just see if I can build a fusion reactor with it.
Dude, go fuck yourself. I was thinking the same thing. I would just record myself 1,000 times saying came on, put it on repeat. Yeah, double speed, and just offer it to nuclear reactors or whatever, and just be like, infinite money glitch, bitch.
We business minds think alike.
We businessmen, yeah. big business. This is why we are full time and you are not. To those who are listening, you need to have this entrepreneurship mind, right?
Yeah.
So that's about it. This was the last question. As at the end of the show, maybe you want to plug something, maybe tell people where.
Yeah, I'll ask you one last thing. Have you ever been to Pripyat?
Actually,
yeah,
yes.
Perfect. We'll end there. That's like a teaser for the next episode.
I ever been to Pripyat? Yes, I
That's
have photos
Chernobyl, by
from
the way,
Pripyat.
for most listeners.
Yeah, yeah. And okay, we will end on that one. Okay. I have so many beans
Yeah.
to spill. Okay, so the outro music.